What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Attack Productions. Today I'm Bancroft once again for another deck profile. Not just any deck profile, but the Trio of Saiyans, Goku, Vegeta, Trunks. Like always, there's buttons down below. Feel free to click them, they're there for a reason. But let's get into the profile. So Son Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, when this card attacks, you draw one card. It has two ways of awakening, either 4 or less life, or if you have 2 or more energy, a Son Goku, Vegeta, or Trunks future all red with EX Evolve in play. You may draw one, switch one of your energies to active mode, and go down to 6 life. You can initially do it on turn 2 very easily. Once you've awakened, you now have the auto where you discard one red Saiyan card from your hand, and you draw 2 cards when you attack. Activate main, if you have 3 or more mono red energy, play one Son Goku Vegeta Trunks future card, all red with an energy cost of 1 from your drop with its skills negated for the turn in rest mode, and then at the end of the turn you place that card in your drop. Pretty much once you awaken, you want to kind of, for some of the 1-drops, you just want to kind of pitch them into your drop area for the attack. Use Deactivate Main to play those 1-drops to immediately evolve them into another card. It was pretty fun. I found like this deck was a mix between SS4 and Trunks Vegeta. It was kind of like a little both. Is it better than one or the other? I don't know, but I did have fun playing it. So let's get into the actual deck itself. And I'm going to go in these in orders of 1-drops to 3-drops. So starting with Trunks, we got Trunks at the ready. All those cards play, you draw 1 card. Activate main, limit 1. And they all pretty much have the exact same activate main. But if your leader is Son Goku, Vegeta, Trunks future card, and you have a Son Goku or Vegeta, and for each other card it changes for like Goku's Trunks or Vegeta, and Vegeta's Trunks or Goku. Both red with an EX Evolve skill in play, you play this card from your hand in rest mode. Then you place this card in the owner's drop at the end of your turn. So once again, it's just another free way of kind of getting these cards to the board so you can immediately evolve them to other targets afterwards. Trunks' 3-drop is the SS Trunks Evolved Offensive. Blocker, evolve for 1 energy. Red, Trunks future, energy cost 1. Auto when this card's played with Evolve skill, you draw 1 card, switch this card to active mode. And then at the end of your turn, you switch this card to active mode once again. So you get to initially play the Trunks for free, either using Trunks' ability or even the Awakened Leader's ability. Pay 1 to evolve into this Trunks. It goes into active mode. You can attack, and then your turn you restand, so you can use blockage on your opponent's turn. And they all pretty much have this exact same activate main as well. The 3-drops do. Activate main, limit 1 for 1 red energy. If you have a Son Goku or Vegeta card, both red with energy cost of 3 and EX Evolve in play this card from your hand. Does not play in rest mode, so means you can just pay 1 to play these cards as well. You won't get the draw of them, but it's another way of getting these on the board. Going into the Goku. Auto when this card's played, look up top 5 cards of your deck, add up to 1 red Saiyan card, energy cost of 4 or less, and 1 of them to your hand. Then show your deck afterwards. Like the active main is pretty much the same as Trunks, but it requires Vegeta and Trunks instead. Going to Goku's 3-drops, I play only 3 of them, but it's same evolve for 1 red energy. Goku energy cost of 1. Auto when this card's played by evolve, you draw 1 card, switch card to active mode as well. And when this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets minus 15,000 power for a turn. This is where it kind of sways in my opinion. Like I said, it's a mix between Trunks Vegeta and SS4. I think I like the 3-drop Vegeta's ability better than Goku's ability. But active main is very same as the 3-drop Trunks, but you had to have a Vegeta or a Trunks card in play. I did play one of the promo SS3 Goku counterattacks. Initially, if your leader card is Son Goku Vegeta Trunks, and you have a red Saiyan card with Evolve and an energy cost of 3, reduce cards cost by 2. So initially it's a 1 cost on your opponent's turn to play. And it's a play when you play this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 15,000 power for the turn. So initially if your opponent kind of sends out like a 20k, a 25, 30k, anything kind of big, I can just pay 1 energy to play this and kind of bring it down to size. Going into the Vegeta package, I play actually a little bit smaller on these ones. I play 2 of the 1-drops. When this card's played, you add up to 1 Son Goku Vegeta Trunks future card, all red with energy cost of 3 EX Evolve from your drop to your hand. He's a recover play, so I like to hang on to Vegeta towards the end because of these autos. They won't do anything early game, only really late game, and that's if I want to bring back one of the 3-drops back to my hand. And same thing for the Evolve version. You do get a draw card off if you evolve, but when this card attacks, placing the owner's drop at the end of your turn, when this card is placed in the drop by skill, add to 1 Son Goku or Trunks future card, both red with energy cost of 3 EX Evolve from your drop to your hand. So Vegeta's not as strong as the other two in my opinion. He's just meant for recover plays. So that's kind of the initial 1 and 3 drop packages I play. So the 1 drops also have other forms that cards that go on top of them, starting with the 4 drop, and actually the 4 drop can actually go on top of any red Saiyan. So activate mean for 1 energy, choose 1 red Saiyan card in your barrier, play this card from your hand, and place the chosen card underneath it. Auto limit 1. Place 1 card from under this card in its owner's drop. When this card attacks, choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards, and it gets minus 30,000 power for the turn. So you can initially just evolve on top of any red Saiyan. It's actually not really evolving on top of, so even if the card attacks, you could pay the 1 because you're playing this card, and you place the chosen card underneath it. So you could swing with a 3 drop if you wanted to, pay 1 to play this card, and then put that underneath it, which could go really well with actually the Vegeta if you didn't want to recover, because the auto will pop him himself, so you can actually swing with the Vegeta, and then immediately play this right afterwards, and then kind of remove the Vegeta from board without having to lose it in a sense. And then you can activate the auto that negs a card out. And then last for the archetype itself, I play 2 of the 8 drops on Goku's. Triple Strike Barrier, activate main for 3 red energy. If your leader is a red Saiyan card and you choose 5 Son Gohan use, Vegeta, Trunks Future, Piccolo's, and or Krillin cards in your drop, play this card from your hand and place the chosen cards with the skills underneath it. Yeah, so pretty much you're paying 3 to play this card, and you have to choose the 5 of these other cards and place them underneath this card. Then activate battle, place 5 cards from under this card in its owner's drop. This card gets plus 10,000 power for the turn. Choose all of your opponent's battle cards. They get minus 20,000 power for the turn. And at the end of the turn, place this card in its owner's drop and play up to 1 red Son Goku energy cost of 1 from your drop. So it allows you to kind of cycle back into a 3 drop afterwards if you need to. But having a triple strike barrier is pretty nice, and a lot of times you can hang on to this activate battle till the your opponent's turn to kind of snipe some cards out of the way. For recovery plays, or more recovery plays, 2 Piccolos. Piccolo has an auto, which is limit 1. If your leader is red Son Goku, Vegeta, Trunks Future, and your opponent has 2 or more energy, when you place a red Saiyan card with energy cost of 3, an EX Evolve skill from your battle area to the drop, play this card for your hand. So that really goes well with the 3 drop Trunks, because he's blocker. So initially you can block, if he dies, then you pay 1 to play the Piccolo, which is a 20k blocker as well, so it helps you stay alive. Piccolo does gain barrier to your opponent's turn, but during your turn he gets minus 10k, so it's not really a card you will want to swing with. And once the turn, when this card activates blocker, switch it to active mode, and at the end of the turn, place this card in its owner's drop. So initially it can be a dual attack blocker for 1 energy, that's going away after the second hit. That's pretty much the core engine from the set. Rest of the deck's more or less just things I've tagged in or added, or my choice of super combos. Starting with 1 drops, Son Goku. It's a 1 drop that draws me a card, and it's a target to evolve on top of with the 3 drop. Also, activate Meeting Bond 3. Once returned, if your opponent has 3 or more energy, this card gets 21,000 until the start of your next main phase. You can establish a board very quickly with this deck, so that bond can be turned on very quickly. You could just pay 1 to play this card, draw 1 card, activate main, and now it's a 25k for 1 energy. For super combos, I just went for Raditz, just because I like to draw more and cycle more cards. Play 2 of the Goten Hyperspeed Rush. Keep in mind this one does not work with the 8-drop Goku, but for 1 energy I'm playing this card with Double Strike, and it draws me a card. And activate me once returned, I can make this card get plus 5,000 power for the turn, and choose 1 of my opponent's battle cards, and he gets minus 20,000 power for a turn. So initially it's a 20k Double Strike for 2 energy. So you get Double Strikes. The Gohan Rare, really good card. For 1 energy, it can neg a board by 10, and if I happen to neg 5 of the 5 cards, it gets Double Strike for the turn and plus 10,000 power, making it a 25k Double Strike for 1 energy. Or if I were to combo this card off and put it to my Z energy, I can pay 1 red energy, choose 1 of my opponent's battle cards and or Unisons, and it gets minus 15,000 power per turn. So depending on the situation, that can be very important either way. Because we like to Z-Awaken, play 1 Omega Shinron. A lot of times will just Z awaken during my opponent's turn because the way the Z leaders ward it, and then on my turn pay 2 to play Omega Shinron and then use my leader's abilities afterwards. One Dark Broly, kind of deal with problematic cards like blockers or just cards I just don't like. Tool Fang Fist, because even though, I mean, for one energy, they're really good. If you have to have Unison board, they're even better. 2 Testings, and because our leader is a Red Saiyan, 3 King Vegeta's Imposing Presence. I think it's, especially with decks I like to put blockers on the board, Imposing Presence is just really good for that. The next 6 cards are cards that I tend to side out a lot, especially in the blue matchups, but I really do like the idea of Decision. It allows you to get more cards on the board, but running a Unison package. So for the SS4 Gogetas, we all know when you play this card, you look top 3 cards of your deck, add up to 1 red card, 1 to your hand. +2, you play a 1-drop in rest mode. It works really good with this deck, so you can play in the 1-drops to get their effects on play, and then you immediately evolve them afterwards. If you're afraid of the Shadow Dragon, this card gets so much more advantage for 2 energy than that Shadow Dragon will give your opponent. Because initially, you're paying 2 energy for a swing, a draw 1, and then immediately playing another card for free or afterwards. And those cards have effects that allow you to draw 1 as well. So for 2 energy, it's getting a lot of power, even if your opponent turns around and snipes it out the following turn. And because we run this package, 1 Yamcha, and another way of ending the game, we play 1 of the Son Goku's Pan and SS Trunks, because you can just activate main, choose 1 of your Unison cards with 10,000 power or more, place this underneath it, add a marker to it, and then later down the road, if this Unison stays alive, you can pay 3 to play this card from underneath your Unison. And last but not least, Vegeta, because it's a red deck, and it works out. Touching into my Z deck real quick, play 2 of the Goku Z leaders because they will go away at the end of the turn. For Double Strike, for 1 energy, your life is 3 or less. You place up to 3 of your Z energies underneath your leader, Red Son Goku Vegeta Trunks Future. When this card attacks, for each non-leader card under this card, it gets plus 10,000 power. So initially it's a 45k Double Strike. Place all non-leader cards from under this card in their owner's drop. At the end of your turn, choose all of your opponent's battle cards. They get minus 10,000 power for the turn for each card placed in the drop for the skill. So initially it's negating cards by 30,000. Play 3 of the Son Gohans because it's a blocker, but not just that, but it has a permanent where all your Red Saiyan cards energy cost of 3 and evolve gain blocker. So pretty much gives all your 3 drops blockers as long as this card's on the board. At the end of your turn, choose up to 1 of your Red Saiyan cards that evolve, switches to active mode. So once again, just for protection purposes. And that's why I choose to run more King Vegeta's Imposing Presence. Activate main, Vegeta cards Red Son Goku Vegeta Trunks during your opponent's next turn. When 1 of your Red Saiyan cards with energy cost of 3 and evolve is placed in the drop area, add it to your Z energy for your drop, which is really good. Just helps you reestablish the Z energy for other plays. And the only other Z card we play is the Rush Attack Vegeta, just because it's really good. And you can establish a lot of combo cards pretty quickly. And quickly go through the sideboard. For the blue matchups, 2 peel-offs because a lot of decks are playing the cards that like battle cards like 3 Saiyan Energy. 2 Mize just because it's really good against the counter decks. 1 Mecha Gabora just because it can snipe a card, it can stop my opponent from playing cards. I do side in 2 Black Smoke Dragons. Primarily, I don't really care much for the Unison aspect of it, but it can either be a draw 2 for me, or I can get rid of a problematic card that can shut my opponent's engine down. 2 Topos, in case there's certain matchups where I feel like it might get too aggressive. Vado's Assistance is a nice ad that I happen to see someone else playing. It's a negate attack, and then you may choose 1 of your battle cards and switch to active mode for 1 red energy. So initially, I could just restand 1 of my blockers that I've already blocked. Against green matches and sometimes blue matches, we got King Vegeta's Hidden Inhibitions. It stops my opponent from playing those 1-drop negates for free. And then wrapping up with 1 Champa and 1 Mira. A lot of times, if I was playing against blue, I would primarily side and pin the matchup these cards, and I would take out the entire Unison package. So it just felt really good a lot of times. But that's my Trio of Saiyans deck profile. Hope you all enjoyed. Keep mind buttons down below. There's links in the description. Let me know what you think of the profile. Let me know what you would change and what do you play in your variants. Like always, thank you for tuning in and read your cards on your plays and fluff out.